Now is Democratic Congressman Subramanyam. He is from Virginia, member of the House Oversight Committee. Congressman, you co-signed this letter. What would be the goal of having this hearing?
Well, right now there's been a lot of focus on Ghislaine Maxwell and getting her to testify, but the victims deserve a voice in this. Remember, they're the ones who were trafficked. They're the ones who were victimized by Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell. And so, Ghislaine Maxwell is also a proven liar. I mean, she's facing perjury counts as well. And the victims, they just want their voices to be heard. They've asked to testify in some cases. And so we want to give them a voice. That's all we're trying to do. And we want to get to the bottom of the truth, because the president won't release everything he has, presumably because he's in the files.
Any response from the Republicans on this committee? Do you have any support from them on this?
No response yet, and I think it's very telling. What is this really about in the end? They want to subpoena the Clintons and Comey and many other people they consider political enemies, but they have yet to try to subpoena and invite the women who are victimized to testify. That goes to show that this isn't about protecting women. This is a political tool and a political issue for them, and they're weaponizing it in the Oversight Committee by trying to drag in people who they feel are Democratic opponents that they need to attack.
Let me ask you more about these Oversight Committee subpoenas, because you mentioned several officials were subpoenaed to testify. The DOJ also subpoenaed to provide those Epstein files that haven't been made public. But here are the list of people: former attorneys general, FBI director, former President Bill Clinton, former Secretary of State. Noticeably absent from this list, though, is the former U.S. Attorney for the Southern District of Florida, Alex Acosta, who reached that controversial sweetheart deal with Epstein back in 2008. Why not subpoena Acosta?
Because this isn't really about getting to the bottom of the truth. This is about using the Oversight Committee to, one, protect the president, and two, as a political tool to try to attack political opponents. And in this case, the president has been told that he's in the Epstein files. And so they don't want people to come before the committee and tell the truth and talk about the president's involvement. I think the victims may, which is why they're probably going to be hesitant to invite the victims. I think there's other folks who may know more information. But in the end, we're just seeking the truth. And really what this is about is the fact that these women were trafficked. And I've got two daughters, and I'll just tell you that it's a parent's worst nightmare to have their daughters victimized and sexually assaulted and raped. And so they're giving Ghislaine Maxwell a voice, but they're not agreeing to give the victims a voice. I think that's a serious problem here.
Did you and other members of this Oversight Committee suggest we need to subpoena Alex Acosta, and were you turned down?
I haven't had those conversations myself, but I know it's come up, and I'll say that I welcome Alex Acosta to come, and I think he should talk about everything he knows and why he reached certain deals. In the end, though, I just want people who will come before a committee to tell the truth, and I really want this administration to be more truthful, because we're seeing this administration is weaponizing government, whether it's the DOJ, the FBI, or this committee, to try to go after political opponents and protect the president, because that's what this is really about. It's about protecting the president, not the American people.
Congressman, switching gears, yesterday we learned of several FBI officials being ousted from their roles, including a former acting director of the FBI, Brian Driscoll, who we know was involved in the January 6th investigations and pushed back when he was asked to provide a list of everybody who was involved in those investigations. Another official, a former Marine, had just lost his wife to pancreatic cancer last month. What's your reaction to this purging of top FBI officials?
Again, it's the same pattern. The president's trying to make the DOJ and the FBI his own personal law firm to protect himself and his own interests. And when someone stands up and says this isn't what's good for the American people, or when they stand up and say this is against the law, the president will simply fire them. And he's done that all across government, right? Whether it's firing the person who put out the job numbers because they didn't like the job numbers, or in this case because he went after someone wouldn't go after his political enemies and use taxpayer money to go after political opponents. Whatever the case is, this president is all about protecting himself and not standing up for the American people.
Congressman Subramanyam, thank you very much for taking the time. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Next on Ana Cabrera Reports, the redistricting domino effect More states follow Texas, threatening to redraw their election maps for no reason really other than a